Gotcha. There we
Hey,
go.
that
How
scared
you
me
been,
for a
man?
sec. I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself, man? Big Thanksgiving holidays.
Yeah, we had our second Thanksgiving today. Yesterday we hosted
Mm,
Renee, my wife's family, and then today we went to my parents in San Jose.
that's cool. That's real cool.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. A lot of fun. How about you?
Same thing. Did Thanksgiving with my girlfriend's family, San Jose, Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then it came back up, and then just worked. But it was nice too. But it was fun. I was able to go to Starbucks actually for a couple hours that day and get some drawing done, just because, if you're in a rhythm,
Yeah,
So that was nice. But the Thanksgiving in and of itself was a lot of fun. Same every year. Food, family, like clockwork.
that's all you need, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How have you been though?
I've been good. I'm gonna grab my glasses real quick. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
All right, hang on. All right.
Nice.
We good? Am I
Uh,
coming in? Am I coming in clearly? Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's so weird. It's strange just to hear, because I've been rewatching all the interviews I've been doing, and just the microphone makes a huge difference.
Oh my God.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
it really does. But thank you. I'm looking forward to listening to the three clips you just sent me and
Yeah.
hearing
Okay.
what you found.
Yeah, those it's a lot of fun, man. Well, so did you have like did you have talking points or
Oh, for us right now?
yeah, or for the talk in general? No.
For us, no, I really I didn't. I'm just kind of curious to see where you're at. Besides
Okay.
that, no,
Yeah, cool,
no
cool,
agenda
cool.
for me.
All right, same here. I mean, there's things I would like to discuss too because it's been a minute.
Okay,
But yeah, is it recording too?
say it again.
Is it recording?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, Well, so if you don't mind me asking you, I'm just genuinely interested in where you're currently at too, because I've been seeing you putting just mad work with a Kickstarter and just the Instagram interactions with the contest. Like, I'm just curious to see how things are on your end too. You're trying to get rid of all your prints, which is cool too. But
Yeah.
the comic's done.
Yeah.
You're releasing it at the end of the month, and you have the Kickstarter for it too. I think just trying to see how many people you can get.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'll give you a brief rundown, but really, this is more about you. I want to make sure we have plenty of
uh,
time for you.
All right. Well, thank you. But I am interested because it's like I see it, but I.
Well, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of things going on at once, which might have been bad planning on my part.
Eh,
One of them is the Sculptor Design Contest,
yeah.
and that's kind of supposed to help feed into the Kickstarter for people to spread the word and
Hmm.
share their designs. But it's been really cool. There's been some really interesting entries that have come in so far.
Okay.
The Kickstarter has less than a week to go, and it's maybe 50% funded. It's not going very well.
Mm.
Not going very well. So I don't even know if that's gonna make it, honestly. Um, and what else do I have? I'm redesigning my website from the ground up. I have like way too much going on, and then trying to unload all my prints and
Hmm.
the originals. I had that shred sale,
Hmm.
and I actually shredded like six originals or so.
How's it feel?
It's liberating. It's honestly it's
Really?
quite liberating.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
cool
mind it
though.
at all.
Because you've been staring at them for like
Yeah, yeah,
years on end, and then it's just boom, gone.
yeah. It's just stuff that it's like, well, this might sell someday, so I'll hang on to it. But it's like, eventually, one of them said 2015. It's been 2 years. It's not going to sell.
Yeah. Okay, that's
It's not
cool.
going to happen. So
Right.
it's really liberating to be able to shred it and move on.
Yeah.
I
I
don't I
think
don't like I don't like extra carrying around extra stuff.
right. I think I mentioned briefly the story of a professor. It's a theory, but there's a professor who like maybe
Yeah, yeah,
60 hours and then like it's the process, not the product. So
yeah,
that's cool that
yeah.
like
Right. Yeah,
to
yeah,
actually get rid of them and feel good about it.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, so that's everything I have going on right now.
okay.
And plus, I've been focusing more on. We talked about you doing pencil work,
Hmm.
and I've been doing a lot of that recently. Just well, it's digital, but just
But still,
not going past that stage.
Right. So, okay, on that point too, I'm really upset because I'm ecstatic. I was telling everybody too, like you recommended that I go back to basics. I think I told you
Yeah,
briefly also. I just been doing the how to draw the Marvel way. I'd mentioned it last video, but I've actually been doing it, and it's the first couple of pages are cylinders, squares, spheres in space, and just drawing those in large numbers, and it's super helpful. So, so I haven't
you're
been.
doing
I'm
you
sorry.
broke up a little bit. You're doing shapes.
Shapes, circles, squares, cylinders, all the things that I tell myself I can do,
Oh,
that I
okay.
hate doing, because it's boring. Like, oh, so, but I found just redoing those fundamentals
Yeah.
are great. The sketchbook I was using, I was at my friend's house 2 days ago before Thanksgiving, and I left it there. But I have other sketchbooks I've been sketching in. But even just doing straight pencil for the last like 2 weeks, man. So unfortunately, I don't have like the day by day gradations. Um, but here, this is what I drew tonight while I was, and I
Wait,
had
do me a favor. Do me a
hit
favor.
me, hit
Have
me.
you been drawing daily?
Hmm. Yes.
Okay. Um, so you pick out what I want you to do is pick out like five drawings, right?
Okay. Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Five.
then
Well, I don't know that I have five because, like I said, the one sketch I've been doing the majority of my drawing in is at my friend's
oh,
house.
fine, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
Well,
Just show me what
so what I but
you can just
next.
show me whatever you have then.
Hmm. Well, this I did tonight that I'm very happy with. I don't know how well it shows up,
Okay.
but
Oh,
it's like because I remember you saying like drawing with. There we go. Drawing with like a
I'm gonna hang on. I'm gonna lock your screen because
please,
I keep
please.
talking. And,
Um,
all right.
drawing with an idea, and with this, uh, the idea was just because the concept behind this is like, is it locked?
Yeah, yeah,
Cool. So the concept behind it was because instead of me going from a purely functional standpoint, because the circles, the squares, the spheres, I feel really helped when I was building it up. But the emotion is something I try to keep in mind, and the story behind that
yeah.
character, if he's still on the screen, is essentially
Well,
the
no, I locked your camera, but that image is not on the screen anymore.
okay. Oh, okay.
Do you want to
Well,
hold it up again?
yeah. I'll hold it back up. The
So
idea.
it's just set to your camera.
Mhm. So the idea behind it is that it's one of the first group of soldiers that arrived. Because
Okay.
that's how you pronounce it, correct?
Okay.
One of the first group, but he's like, I was thinking it'd be cool if he was like, not an outcast, but he basically gave up the life before everybody got destroyed by the
Hmm.
monsters. Um,
Okay.
and so, and it's like, I was thinking it'd be cool, like if he was found, but he's not an integral part of the story. He basically, like the soldiers that go AWOL that are soldiers, but they're like, I don't want to live this lifestyle. He's essentially like
Yeah.
a runaway, and he gave up the lifestyle. So I tried to go for like a really worn down, weary, sad look in his face.
You
He's just like,
you pulled it off, man.
thank you, man. But it was just like just the pencil though, just focusing on that was really nice.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, man. So just my thoughts on that. Hold it up again if you don't mind.
mhm, mhm.
Can I share with you my thoughts?
Please, please.
All right. You definitely get the feel of sadness, and he's contemplating something. There seems to be a division between the man and the mask there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now I'm glad you held it up closer. I can see that he's like aged. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like how he's like bent and he's very small, but like bent.
Hmm.
The way his frame is small, and then the mask is like farther away from the frame, which is I don't know if it was on purpose, but it works really well composition wise. But that's really cool, man. It's a great execution. I like that a lot.
Well, I'm happy you noticed too, because even with I definitely, because it's like the building the fundamentals, doing pencils is very helpful. So that just helped when I was arranging it. But what you had just said too, like emotion, theme.
Yeah,
I redid
you
the
nailed it. Yeah,
posture a couple of times because I wanted to get that what you had mentioned, that shrinking within. So I'm really happy it came out that way. So
yeah.
that was just tonight, and then I've been just been doing, this is a vision, just a quick vision. I've been doing like
Okay.
it's just this quick.
Let me
But I've been
hold on.
doing
Show it again. I locked the screen. Show it again.
I've been doing
Okay. So tell us about that, or tell me about that.
well, they're basically cubes. Well, actually, that came from they're basically cubes in space with a proportion of heads. So instead of me trying to draw
Okay.
like a head with features, before I even nailed the perspective. So I did the face first. This is from Drawing from the Marvel Way. This is John Romita Sr. Just, I mean, it was the same thing, not traced, but just copied right next to me. But that was his version of the vision. But and you can't see it, unfortunately. But what happens is it's a very thorough, very structurally sound underdrawing.
Yeah, I could tell. Yeah.
Thank you. But it's the same thing. It took a lot of reworking because it was minor changes. But so at one convention you had mentioned to me, like, you know, because I was penciling it, and you said, you know, why go through the stages of roughing it, finalizing pencils, and going to ink? And so I think I actually unfortunately overcompensated with the inking stage, where I do rough pencils and rely on the inking to basically bail me out for a lot of fundamental mistakes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think it's okay. What did I tell you at the convention? Tell me again.
It's like the first one when I was doing Garrus.
Yeah.
And the Garrus came out really light. And then, because I'd done the pencils and redone the pencils, and then I did something else before I inked it.
Yeah.
And you're like, why not just, like, if you know what lines you're going to do, why not just skip the finalization of the lines and go into inking?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and for you in particular, that was because you were overthinking things.
Right.
And I think when you pencil and repencil, you're kind of like rehearsing it, when it's like, no, just go to the ink. It's like,
for sure.
You know?
Mm-hmm. And so
So I don't, like, there's nothing wrong with adjusting when you're doing your inks and correcting your mistakes. And the same thing with coloring. I'll make a mistake in my inking and I'll correct it in coloring. There's always a chance to correct what mistakes you made. Right.
But I mean, yes, I absolutely agree with you. Good fundamentals too, though, I think definitely shows through. Because I was even looking at your character sketches too. It's just from every angle, it just looks believable and solid, you know?
Cool. Yeah, that's what I've been, especially recently with just doing pencil stuff like you. I was working on that.
And that Venom.
I've been making more of an attempt to have it be structurally sound, you know, in the layout of the face, in particular. And then what I want to work on next is actually learning muscles and where they're supposed to be and whatnot.
Yeah, well, like the Venom piece where and the tongue's coming out. Even just still, I watched this brief video about Todd McFarlane, and he was drawing on a Cintiq, and he made a good point. He was like, if you don't know how to draw a horse, owning a Cintiq isn't going to help you to draw a horse. You have to have the skills, which is a good point. And so even with the Venom piece too, I think if you have, like, if the picture itself works, the inks and the colors are just kind of like, you know, the icing on the cake. But if you but like you were able to really communicate just the intensity with that one Venom piece. Just with the pencils, you know, and then everything else is just makes it even better. But I just, and so that's what I've been trying to do when I'm revisiting the pencils in my head, is just making sure the piece speaks well. Because like I said before, I'd kind of scribble and then try to not save it with the inks, but hope the inks cover up or make for any mistakes that I've had. And another thing that I have here. So this is these two right here. This is Mono Ginobili.
I'm locked in. All right,
for sure. Mono Ginobili, it's a quick sketch, but this took me, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, but it didn't take too long. And this is in my other sketchbook too. I did this a little bit more well fleshed out, but so this one I took a little bit longer just to practice. This was a minute sketch, and so what I've been doing now also too is just to capture likenesses of people. I'll do like a 10-15 minute sketch of them, and then I'll do a 1 minute sketch right after, just so that way just the main features are held, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's really helpful too, because same thing. I don't want to get overly caught up on the realism and the perfect anatomy. It's like you want to. I'm trying to capture the likeness of people. So that's really fun too. Just
sounds great.
Yeah. So the penciling is going really well, and once again, I'm very happy you recommended that I just break it back down to the fundamentals, because like I said, I'm drawing spheres in space, and I thought I knew how to, and it was probably the most frustrating first couple of days when I had tackled it. Because, you know, you do it in 8th grade or, like, you know, first semester of college.
I still do that every now and then, like when I'm in a meeting.
Circles and squares and believable in space. Yeah.
You know, like people like doodle in meetings, and I'm like working on my shading of a 3D sphere or square or whatever. Yeah.
But I think
those are good opportunities.
They're great opportunities, but it's what's more, I think, enticing is drawing like an eye, or, you know, drawing Spider-Man. Sure. You know, instead of practicing the fundamentals, but re-listening to the talk you and Carlos III were speaking on, and he was saying too, he's like, I could draw skulls all day, but, you know, I'd rather practice my fundamentals. and I thought
Yeah.
that was,
Yeah,
very
I remember
helpful.
that. I remember him saying that. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think he said like every morning he practices.
And then when he gets home, yeah, just because I listened to it through, I wrote down the times, even re-listening to just those small tidbits.
Cool, great,
Gets
man.
me pumped. But yeah, no, once again, I'm really happy you recommended it. And even just like the circles, squares, couple
Sure.
seconds practicing.
There's
Uh,
there's tons of benefit to that.
hmm
Yeah, I mean it. Just you can work on speed, you can work on
hmm
structure, you can work on line weight, you can work on shading, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. It might seem simple, but there's a lot that goes into that.
Right. And then the more believable the base, the better. Because even I've been watching a bunch of, and that's
Yeah.
what Carlos III was saying too. Was that the correct pronunciation, Carlos III?
I think I just call him Carlos, but it's Carlos Mendoza the third, I think.
Carlos Mendoza III. He was
But
saying too.
he's the third. Yeah, he's the third.
Yeah. He was saying about how like he used to just watch whatever, and I was like, he's like, if I get a chance, I watch Proco, and like he's
Oh
interested in
yeah.
those. So I'm watching a lot of Jim Lee and a bunch of other comic book artists too, and Jim Lee will do these they're actually pretty interesting portfolio reviews where he'll take a page and just like draw over it in Photoshop. Um, and the few pages he was going over, like detail wise, it was extremely flourished. A lot of like darks and a lot of detail, but the anatomy was off and the page didn't flow well. It's the same thing, just him reiterating the basics, like basic structure,
Oh okay.
believable,
Yeah.
believable cylinder on top of a believable base, with weight and gravity. Then you can add all the
Yeah.
details. But it was cool to see Jim Lee just break it down, uh,
hmm
and just restate how important the fundamentals are. So yeah, it's
That's cool,
good.
man. You're becoming a student all over again.
Dude, it's fun. I like it.
Yeah, I can, as you talk and sharing your stuff, I can feel it like you're having a good time.
Thank you, man. And it's yeah, just the same thing, diving in, being involved. My friends and I also too, we're doing our own comic, which is fun. So Jeremy's writing it, his brother Justin's penciling it, and then I'm going to be inking it. Um,
Okay.
so we've just been spending some time doing that outside of the daily penciling. Um, and then yeah, just I
Okay.
mean, just staying busy.
You're creating it.
Yeah, but I like it.
Sounds great.
Yeah, thank you, man. I know. I wish I had more exciting things to get you up to speed on.
No, no, no. You're right where you need to be, I think.
But the same thing, just 10, 15 minutes every day. Because there'll be some days where it's like I finished that one design for that my one friend, and then some other gentleman hit me up about another design and the
Okay.
comic. But just like 10, 15 minutes just to practice fundamentals. That's a really good habit.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Outstanding, man. Outstanding.
I appreciate that.
I'm happy
Yeah,
for you.
feels good. It feels really good.
hmm Do you
And
feel like you're growing though?
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Because yeah, just the consistency and I mean, same thing. Just something about breaking it back down to pencil. Because I had like it's so dumb. I had a fancy sketchbook and fancy pencils, and then I left them at my friend's house, and so I went to Walgreens. And that one sketchbook I was showing you briefly, this is a really old sketchbook. It was like $1.50 from Daiso Japan, and I went to Walgreens, got some like mechanical pencils, and even the Sculpture picture I had done. Um, that was the same thing in like $1 uh, binder paper on mechanical pencils. And so just the point being is like the whole concept of an artist and good materials is like, just,
Oh, that shit drives me nuts.
I mean, I
But,
still go through because you see like, have you seen those mechanical erasers that, but they're erasers?
yeah, I know.
Those are cool, man.
I think when we get hung up on the tools, it just irritates the hell out of me. I mean,
Really?
it's like the tool. I have the tools that I need now because I earned the
You've
money for
earned
them,
it.
right?
Right, right, right.
Yeah, but at first I was using Sharpies. Like, you're drawing, just fucking draw. And people get hung up on what you're using and if it's the right paper. And it's like, no, just create. Like, go create, create, create.
Hmm.
No matter what you use, like, there's people that do amazing. You know who Frank Cho is?
Oh, I love Frank Cho. He's kind of a pervert, but he's really good.
You need to be following Frank Cho. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I love Frank Cho.
The
He's kind
artist,
of
yeah, Frank.
I've met him. He's kind of a pervert, but he's a really good artist.
Okay, maybe he is. I'm gonna look him up on Instagram so we can check it out and stuff. But he does a lot of Bic artwork.
What
Big
kind of
pen.
artwork?
Bic. Yeah, I
The
see the pen.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I'll leave it to him. Let me check out this shit here.
There's another guy. I forget his name, but
Yeah.
he does everything in ballpoint pen too. Like same thing.
Well,
Water
let me
girl.
show you. I'll show you Frank Cho.
Yeah. No, Frank Cho, he did the
And
Mighty
this is like
Avengers.
he's maybe I don't know, but he did
I think he's doing covers for Wonder Woman right now. He got an award for his Wonder Woman covers.
yeah, I think you're right about that. Oh, that's dumb. It doesn't come up on my. I'm trying to do a screen share
For sure. Let me
of it,
grab
but I don't see it on here.
my other sketchbook very quickly. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, go ahead. The fuck. Damn. All right, so for some reason I can't see it on this. On my desktop or my Surface Pro. It worked fine on my Apple. But the screen share is not working. It's not. I'm trying to show the other window, but it's not working. Anyhow, make sure you're following Frank Cho. He's a fantastic artist, and damn, that's fucking stupid, man. A lot of his stuff is really bare bones. Like he just does basic shading with, and I believe it's just Bic pen. But he's a well-respected, huge artist, and he's getting paid, by top companies like Marvel. And I believe a lot of what he does is with Bic. All right. So, I mean, if you could reach that level and do literal like Bic artwork on covers that people are being published, like it doesn't matter what tool you're using. It doesn't come down to that.
But I think a lot of, especially beginning artists, have this fantasy. Like, well, once I get the Cintiq.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm looking at one right now. It's a rare variant cover for Skyborn #1, and it's. I wish I could show you because it's fucking amazing. But he even wrote hashtag ballpoint pen art.
He's that
so
good.
He's doing covers ballpoint pen, and I mean, he's amazing and it works. But you don't get hung up on what tools you're using, dude.
Yeah, no, well, that's why the pencil thing was nice too, because a cheap pencil, cheap paper, and it's just and it's like I'll do the base and then I'm taking eraser lightly. It's similar to just opacity or just doing a new layer, but it's like it's not. It's like the bare bones.
Yeah,
No,
I gotcha. Yeah, you had mentioned early on a couple times about don't get hung up on that.
No, but it's
not about that. Don't get hung up on that. Just let it go. Work with what you have, and then as you're making money, like then you can all of a sudden be concerned about what you can afford as tool wise.
Right. Can I show you another one I sketched out tonight?
Yeah. Yes, please. Let me lock your screen.
My friend Mike, but like as an elf, and I have him in a comic.
That's your friend Mike?
Well, yeah, it wasn't reference. It was just like his features.
Okay.
His tone paper.
Does he have elfin ears?
Yeah, because he's an elf.
Your friend Mike is an elf?
No, well, nah.
That looks cool. That looks cool, man. That guy's got attitude in that picture.
And it's just the same thing. I just feel as though I'm able to draw things that I wasn't able to capture before.
Yeah, you're capturing the mood. This guy doesn't give a flying fuck. He's cool as hell.
Because it's like
he's an elf, which is a nice
it's an elf. It's a nice blend between structure and emotion too. Because that's the thing. I didn't want to lose that just like structure. It's still. I mean, one thing that I think still resonates with me very deeply is just like having an emotion behind the picture.
Yeah.
Having some action or there's something to it. Makes it a lot more interesting.
Emotion's important, man. It's really important.
Can I tell you a fun story? I was at the gym like 2 days ago. This guy stops me. We end up talking, and really nice guy. Talking about fitness, life, yada yada. We had a lot in common, and he's a tumbling coach. And he's just like, yeah, man. But before this, I used to be a designer, man. I used to create toys and this and that.
Oh,
and he talked for a minute, and I was like, oh shit, like that's what I do, or that's what I'm trying to do. And I started told him too, like I work with Photoshop, and so we vibed on that. And I was looking through his Instagram, and he has these like wooden pins burned out. So I'm going to try to link back up with him too, because he could be a very valuable resource. And it didn't blow my mind, but I was like, holy shit. He told me about some expo in LA that I should probably go check out. And same thing, he was like, I was deep in the designer scene, but he was saying like he didn't enjoy doing it. And I was telling him, you always tell me, like, if you don't like doing it, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no point. And he had said he enjoys coaching tumbling more than design. So he had to make a decision, and he chose tumbling, and he loves it. But I was on his Instagram page. This didn't blow my mind, but I was like, holy shit. I was on his Instagram page, and he has these prints. One of his posts is these prints he bought, and one of them was from Nuligan. And I was like, holy shit, that's Nuligan. But it's so weird how how tight knit the world is, you know, or the creative world is at least. It is. It was just strange. And just how
the convention world too, like you get to know each other.
So I
know you and stuff.
Yeah, it's just, but like the fact that Nuligan, like I know that name, like you know him. I mean, you have that interview with him too that I'm currently chopping up right now. But it was just
that's a fun one, man.
It's good because I listened to it a couple months ago, but now like going back through and hitting the important parts too. But I don't know, it kind of got me gassed back up because it's like, you know, it's a small world.
Yeah, it really is. It's like, especially with convention, there's a very 6 degrees of separation or connection. Like I think it's probably 3. Like there's very close connections.
Right. So that was cool to meet him too. And he had he had these wood pins, and he had a bunch of stuff, and he's just like, yeah, you know, I'm not doing it anymore. But yeah, it's same thing. Got me pumped back up. And then even the drawing now too. I've been cutting out. I've been cutting out, but even like I said, Thanksgiving, it was fun, family, and all that stuff. But I was getting antsy most of the day because I was able to get out for like 3 or 4 hours, draw, journal, on my own. But it's just I get really antsy if I'm not drawing, which is good.
Oh, I know. I know the feeling. I have to. Like it's like you have to do, you know. I totally understand that feeling. And even that means you're excited, and you're motivated, and that's I'm loving that, man. I'm glad that you're at that spot.
No, thank you. And it's just, but the same thing. And I feel like it's not as much of a concern since we first started doing these talks. But the direction sometimes almost still feels not lost, but like it's great to practice fundamentals. But same thing. It's like I kind of want to do what you're doing, where it's like not start from the website from ground up, but just start taking the business aspect of it, you know, a little more businessy.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're at that point where you have potential business to take more seriously?
I mean, if not now,
you've told me about a couple things. So I mean, yeah, maybe you are there.
Yeah. Well, the same thing. This one person that I know from the coffee shop, she's a sweetheart, but she was looking through my stuff, and she asked me, she was just like, well, you know, do you do commissions? Do you charge? And I said, no, not yet. I'm still working on it. And she was going through, she's like, I buy a lot of this. And she's like, I buy something right now. But it's the same, but like you had mentioned too, it's a very tricky thing where it's like friends and family, acquaintances, and actual demand, you know, they're very different spheres.
Right.
But I always wonder, like, when are you ready to say, you know, open for commissions?
Well, first off, if you hear me typing, I'm writing some notes on my documents I have for you.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Just stuff that I want to remember.
Because I want to.
I think you're at a point where you have people asking, right? And you've been hit up for some pretty decent, design, like the T-shirt thing, right? And there was a comic you did for the guy's kid. So there's stuff that's coming your way already that you probably, I think you're at a point where you probably should be taking a little bit more seriously.
Okay.
So I think a part of that would be having a website that is up and running and has your prices on it.
Ooh, that's good.
Does that freak you out or what?
No, it doesn't. Because same thing. I always talk to people, but just the same. So just price wise is still somewhere where I struggle. Where, like you had mentioned too, the market will dictate what people will pay. but it's like, and I feel like I'm at a point where I don't mind eating shit. I don't mind, you know, if it's a friend or something, uh, drawing something for them. But I just think pricing is just the most difficult part. You know, finding your value as an artist.
It's difficult for everybody. I recently just looked at my pricing again and made some changes. It's not on my live site. It's on my new site that I'm working on. And somebody DM me about a commission. He was all excited. And I sent him a screenshot of my new prices because I didn't want him to think I was like making it up. And then he goes, "All right." It was basically, you know, like, "All right, I'll get back to you."
I mean,
so it's just, you know, it's not going to be a good fit for everybody.
But I feel like you're definitely at that point now. You know, people are paying.
I'm at a point where, like, I'm not making a living off this, so I can be choosy, and I'm able to set prices that I think I'm worth and that people have paid me in the past. I mean, that guy flat out ran away from my prices. Yeah. But the day before, a guy had agreed to pay me $150 for a character design thing. You know what I mean? So it's going to be hit and miss, but I'm comfortable with what I'm asking for,
right?
Based on what I know I provide and the effort I put into it.
And what I always try to reflect on too is you had mentioned, you know, you started off at like 5 or 10, and then people would pay that, bumped up to 15. People paid that, and so now you do 150 for. What are your prices? What do you bump them up to?
Let me bring it up here.
Because I remember you telling me also too, it's like if it's just a straight up picture, it's 1, but like character creation might be 150, or every iteration is like 50 on top of that or something.
Well, let me bring it up.
Yeah.
Give me a second here.
For sure.
But yeah, so if you're wanting to become more structured in your pricing, there's things you probably should think about well ahead of time, like how flexible will you be, and are you willing to tell people no for not the projects? That sounds like you want to kind of just take on whatever comes your way, which is nothing wrong with that. But if someone offers you significantly less, I mean, are you willing to take it? I think there's things you should probably think about before it comes up. Because once it comes up, I know you want to please and you want to take on things, and that combination might not always be a great idea. Or unless you want to eat shit and do it, like there's nothing wrong. That's fine. You just I think you should be clear ahead of time about where you're at.
I remember too, you had discussed with me that back and forth you had with the gentleman when it came to discussing prices too, and that was like very helpful for me to see like how clear cut you are. About how clear cut you are, like you know, whether you're creating from scratch or whether you're redrawing something that's already been imagined, like huge difference, you know.
It really is, and like I don't know if we're always thinking about that, but it is. Like if you want me to draw Spider-Man, I can do that. It's pretty simple and bam, right? But if you're asking me to create a character for you and you have a vague idea of what it looks like, all of a sudden now I'm putting more of my creative energy into it, and I really want to get it right. So you're going to tell me you're going to ask for an edit or two or whatever. So that's a much different process. All right. So for my prices right now, which could change. For 9x12, this is my commission or my convention pricing, really. $30 for a bust, $50 for a full body. And you saw at conventions, that's what people pay me. Right. And they get 30 minutes to 2 hours worth of work. Archival quality, full color. And basically, I kind of wanted to have different pricing for convention versus what I would do at home. But really, it's the same thing. At home, I would spend 30 minutes to 2 hours on it, basically until it's done. Right, but it's full color. But I'd caveat at a convention, like you're there, like that's your convention time, like your drawing time. At home, it's like, you know, I feel like you're bearing more of the load. But if you're cool with it, I mean, you could look at it that way. I lean more toward I want things to be as simple as possible. I don't want a nickel and dime people, so I just kept it the same. At home, I will put a little bit more love into it. I will use more colored pencil. At conventions, I use just marker, but at home, I'll use colored pencil on top of the marker to kind of refine things more. So there's more love that goes into it, but 30 and 50, I think, is a good entry point for people that are interested in it. So 11 by 17 for one character, full body at $75. For 2 characters, it's $150. I might drop that down to $125.
I mean, what's the difference?
But one is basically 2 characters. You're doing 75 times 2, which makes sense. That's fine.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, but I was saying like 125 to 150. I don't think there's a huge difference.
I think there is. I think if you're the one buying it, there's a significant difference there. Because if you get 2 characters for $150, you're paying for 2 characters. But if you get 2 characters for $125, you're paying for. You kind of get $25 off in a way.
That's smart.
So yeah, and I would do the same thing if you want like 3 characters, 4 characters on one sheet. I might do it for a couple hundred. For me, I'd be agreeable to that. It's not that big of a deal.
So,
those are my physical commission pricing right now. Digital, $100, and for me, digital takes longer. You think it takes shorter, but for me, it's longer. I put a lot more time into it, a lot more refining. So for 1 character, full body is $100, and that Venom one with the speakers that I did, that was $100. For 2 characters is $175, and that's where I gave that $25 discount, and then I put $200 for up to 4 characters with a full background digital. Yeah, and I'm satisfied with that, and those aren't going to come around very often. But if someone's willing to pay that, I'm fine with that. If all of a sudden I'm getting a lot of $200 commissions, which I don't see it happening, but if I'm getting that, I'll bump it up. That means I'm pricing it too low. And then I have my per page sequential comic book rates as well.
What do you do per page?
But 75 pencil, 150 pencil and ink, 200 pencil, ink, and color. But
that's cool.
So for me, that's kind of steep for someone who's not published. In my opinion, that's kind of steep for someone who's not. I'm not published. I have my comic, but I don't have any credentials. I don't have anything behind my name. The reason why I price it that much is because it's taking me away from my own comic. So I want to make sure that I'm compensated for the time away from my stuff. Really, I'd rather do my stuff versus take on anything else. But if you're willing to pay me that much, I'll do your thing. That's fine.
So inspiring. So well thought out.
Yeah, well, I've been doing it for a while, and people have hit me up to work on pages, and I've told them no because I don't want to take time away from Scolders. And I don't make a living off this, so I can say no and just focus on my own thing. I think my priority right now is just completing my story, and I don't have to worry about feeding my family exactly.
But
that's the luxury I have.
Yeah, I still not to be a dead horse, but I still always commend you that you still find time in lieu of all your other obligations. It's cool to see like that's
I take this dead seriously, man. I have no idea where this is going, if anything, but I'm just enjoying the process, and I'm having fun, and I'm working as hard as I can.
Another fun story, because like after like rewatching the interviews and also kind of taking a look into the way that you operate, it's still just kind of like, it's like, because people ask me, oh man, you're like, because like I said, I'm at work, and then I'm usually I had both jobs, and then I would go to Phil's and draw, and people ask me like, oh, you work hard and you're disciplined, and it's extremely flattering to hear, but then I'll see how hard you work, and I'm like, nah, not yet.
Yeah.
So I did never try to get complacent, but then also too, I got to worry about my health, but my relationships also.
Yeah, dude. For real. So I had this whole week off from work. I took some time off because my kids had, they didn't have to go to school, or my daughter didn't, at least. And so I starting Friday night when I got off work, right? The kids were in bed, and right away I'm working, and I got like no sleep. I wake up the next day and deal with my kid. But I was doing that like every night, where I was getting very little sleep because I push myself. Yeah. And I did that for a few nights, and then I was drinking a lot of caffeine too to get through the day, and I ended up getting sick.
That's
and
tough,
I know when I push myself really hard and I don't eat well, that I will end up getting sick. That's what ended up happening. So the past few days I had like I'm feeling better right now, but I had a cold the past few days.
I mean, it's same thing. It's really good to hear that you're still pushing yourself too. Like I said, for your
Yeah.
craft, it's not just like oh, I got to put in overtime. You know, it's like this is something you want to do, so you make time for
Yeah.
it. And I was discussing that with my friend briefly too. Mike, I haven't seen. Mike's the guy that I drew, very good friend of mine. But I was telling him between my job and like between staying up late to like doing these talks, drawing on my own time, going to coffee shops too. I told him like I average like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and I hate saying that because it almost sounds like I'm bragging, like,
Well,
you know, which isn't bad. You know, if I'm pushing it, like go to bed at midnight, wake up at 3. But Mike was like, you know, he brought up a concern of facing exhaustion and mental exhaustion. I'm not gonna lie, like it's not even that bad, but sometimes I just genuinely can't remember what day it is, and I don't mean to sound like I'm complaining.
sure.
But I told Mike, I was like, you know, this is the lifestyle that I want to live. Like eventually, like it's not going to get any easier, you know.
No, it gets a lot harder, man. Even if you
Right.
don't have kids, just age. I mean, for me, I'm 11 years older than you. I also haven't worked out or anything at all, so that might have something to do with it. But as I age, like I can't. I used to be able to stay up all night, wake up the next day, and get going. I feel it. I feel when I don't take care of myself, I feel it a lot more. And unfortunately, I'm still kicking my own ass, you know, and staying up late and then not getting enough sleep because I have to get up because Jay's awake. Or, you know, and then it's like at 36, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that a lot more than I would have at 25. A lot more.
Yeah. Well, so that's why, it's interesting. I think I mentioned I'm doing the self-authoring program where like I write my goals and why, but it's like the why. So like my main priority right now, it kind of helps you like prioritize your goals. Also, it says write down 8, but prioritize them. So art's my main goal, and I'm finding a lot of what I'm doing is to help with my artistic endeavors in the long term. And it's like when I talked to that gentleman Lane at the gym, I hadn't gone to the gym in like a week, and I really wanted to go, but it's like I feel like I take care of my physical health. Drink water, eat well, so that way I have more energy during the day and I don't like miss it. It is just so that I can focus more on art. Taking care of my body now, which is like because it sounds kind of douchey, like oh, lifting weights. But like you were saying too, if days go by and you don't sleep well and you don't eat well, because I still go through that too. But I want to preserve my body or be in the best physical health, which also affects my mental health too. Because there'll be days too where I'm just tapped, man.
So do you feel like you have a balance though?
I feel like I'm getting there, but like I said, I like to feel like I'm always pushing myself. Because like so tomorrow I'm going in earlier than usual, so I'll be waking up at 2, going to work at 3, which isn't bad. But I'm off at 11, so that's in my mind. It's like I got time to draw, and I try to listen to my body too. But I just like I said, I want to feel like I'm always pushing myself. But also have the mindset that doesn't get any easier, you know?
Yeah, I think the first convention we did together after ModestoCon, was it? After the one where we met?
Yeah.
Yeah, was that it? But we had this conversation about our age difference, and I was saying that I'm 11 years older than you. 11 years will go by for you. So you have, the way I look at it is, if I was all of a sudden 25 years old, again, 11 years will go by. How am I going to use that 11 years? And I think this is a great time for you to really be pushing yourself.
Right.
Like once you get to, are you in school right now? I forgot.
Nah, school's for losers.
Okay. If you ever go back to school or, you know, get, I don't know, if you know, life changes. If you ever have a kid, get married, go back to school, get a bigger, you know, more of a 9-to-5 kind of job or something like that. If those things hit, your life changes dramatically. You know what I mean? So what the hell is my point? I guess it's like now is where you have the most freedom in your life.
Yeah.
And I think you have a girlfriend, which there's obligations there, but this is where you have that time and that freedom and that independence to really attack your artwork, in my opinion.
Yeah. And
so when I was your age,
you were saying?
when I was 25, fuck, I'm old enough to say when I was your age. When I was 25, I was, I think I had stopped my art major after a semester because I didn't like doing what the teacher told me to. and I went to sociology. So I was on a totally different career path, and I kind of let the art stuff go for quite a while because I didn't realize how important it was to me.
Right.
Like I don't know how I could have realized that back then.
It's
But
tough,
like
man.
but you do know that. Like you know it's important to you. You feel that you need to do it daily,
Mm-hmm.
and that you're really talking about balancing your life so that you can draw more efficiently.
Yeah.
So this is I'm gonna be fucking pissed at you if you let this time go by.
Right. Well, one thing I try to keep in mind, Jim Rohn, this one gentleman, he talks, and I love what he says, but he makes a really good point. He says, in 10 years, you'll surely arrive. The question is where.
Say it again.
He says, in 10 years, you'll surely arrive. The question is where.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's just because I think people sometimes I do understand enjoying the moment too, but I think a lot of people just live for the moment and don't think like, I've said this before too, if you look at the last 5 years and you don't change, the next 5 years are going to be like the last.
Yeah.
And that's something I try to keep in my mind too, where it's like, and on the point of school too, I remember taking a bunch of classes in college where it's like, oh, maybe I want to do business, way more practical. Maybe I want to do communication because I like talking. And I couldn't see myself doing anything besides art. But it's tough with all the social pressures. You have your mom saying, my mom wanted me to be a teacher, and everybody else saying, oh, it's difficult with the social pressures to say, I want to be an artist. I want to do the convention scene, and draw. Like, it's difficult. So I totally understand where you're coming from too, because even in college I faltered, and now it's set. And same thing, I was telling Lane, like sometimes I have my ups and downs, and sometimes I feel great, like damn, I feel like I'm on the right path. Usually it's like I just got to keep going until it happens,
Until what happens?
Until I become an illustrator, and
yeah, I mean, but that's kind of where I don't know if I can help you beyond a certain point because I haven't gotten there. I'm kind of in the same boat where it's like I'm just gonna have fun and enjoy what I'm doing. And
seeing you do it's super helpful though. Seeing you just like grind, stay up late every night, and just like no end in sight from what I see through your actions. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but I do have some focus though. I'm not just like shotgunning it.
Right.
It might seem like it because I'm doing multiple things at once. But there's a reason behind that, which I talk about in my video about boredom and artist block. I like to have multiple things so that if I'm bored with one project, I can switch to another one. Like creating a website fulfills a different creative desire in me than drawing in pencil. So it seems like I'm shotgunning it and doing a whole bunch of stuff at once, but really to me, it's a very fine laser shot. Like I'm fine tuning my website because I bust my ass on Instagram so that people will go to the website and see my prices and then hire me, so that I'm focused in what I'm doing and what I want to accomplish. I want to create my comic book. That's my my biggest priority. And mostly it's for fun because I don't make shit off of it. It's just to do it. And then I do know my next goal is I want to get that published somewhere. And there's a couple people that are interested in that. So I do have a focus, but I don't have a big goal of like I want to be an illustrator because I have a job I like. I have a career I like already. So, but anyhow, I guess I would. I know you don't have a fine-tuned goal in mind, right? But you have to have some kind of direction, I think.
Right.
So, do you have any idea what that might be for you? Like this past couple of weeks, your direction was drawing in pencil and kind of getting back to the fun of it and learning structure and whatnot, and you're doing that. But what do you think? Do you have any direction that you know of?
I would think the same thing, and I convention is where my mind straight goes towards, and that's why I was really upset a couple weeks ago when it had passed. But I have conventions in the future that we're signing up for, which is exciting. But like my next, I think, few concrete goals, because doing the video edits, and even just like
that's for me though, right?
It is, but that's something I'd like to do too. But just a consistent time on the computer, I think.
Okay, so it sounds like I had written down for you the big goals that we had talked about previously were to be an illustrator. That's a huge goal. That's very undefined, which is fine. And the other one, another big one, was to do conventions. It sounds like you still want to do that.
Yep.
Okay, so that's definitely more focused. And then your current goal from 2 weeks ago was to have fun, sketch, use pencil, play around with proportions or whatever structure. I don't know if did you feel like you did enough of that
with the realism with the realism to the minute sketches. That was helpful for me.
Okay. And then not to worry about how it looks, just enjoy the process. It sounds like you've definitely been meeting that goal.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun doing the pencils. Yeah.
Okay. So you've met the goal from the past 2 weeks, and of course you're going to keep doing those things. I really hope that
Oh yeah,
you'll
right.
have fun and blah blah. All right. So what would be your next direction? The convention is not for a while. It's not too far away, but
yeah. My next big ones, and I think this is where the pricing kind of helps in too. Because I just to myself, I hate narrating that to myself.
Okay.
Like it's in the future. But what I would like is I want to get my Instagram back up and running.
Okay.
Posting regularly, but then also be open for commissions.
Okay.
I'm thinking just $10 commissions.
Why? Hold on. Why do you want to get your Instagram up and running again?
For the website, though, I think what you're going to say, which I'll probably agree with, is a website is more important than the Instagram.
I don't know. Because Instagram is. Sorry if you can hear my typing.
No,
Instagram is absolutely huge with getting people to your website.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a funnel. You know, they go all your social media. If you have more than one, should go directly to your website.
So those are my two next big ones. Is website.
So hold on. I will say having your Instagram or Tumblr, whatever the hell you do, having that rolling is a really good idea for outreach and connections and showing your process. And if that's all you want, then you're set. If you want commissions, if you want people to be paying you, I think you have to have a website. You don't have to. You can do it through DMs. I think it's a lot more professional to have your own website.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So for the Instagram, I mean, the Instagram isn't so much like I had spoken to my friend, and she does social media Instagram for companies, and she gave me a pretty solid system to upload. So I'd like to upload to that. So Instagram, I'm not overly concerned about. I do want to. What do you think about this? Open commissions, $10. DM me. That's a pretty good start. No, man, you don't like it.
Nothing wrong. I won't say there's anything wrong with that.
Okay, but then the website, I think the next 2 weeks, I just want to get the face to a website. How's that sound? A website, just a website. Because once I have a website, I can.
You want to do what?
Just a face, just something. Nothing.
You want to do what?
Face to a website. Nothing overly complicated.
What does that mean?
Like
overly complicated. What does that mean?
I don't want a website that's overly complicated. I just want something that has my prices, some past works, some comic pages I've done. Just a solid skeleton to a website.
Okay. Have you been keeping track of how long we've been talking? Usually you're pretty good at that.
Yeah, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 to be exact.
Damn, really? All right. So we're talking about goals now, basically until between now and the next time we talk, which is 4 weeks. We're going to talk again in 4 weeks, right?
Okay. Oh, Christmas. Yeah.
I have our dates down here. Man, I'm fucking organized as shit right now.
It's really good. It's really impressive.
I'm more organized with you than my kids' like chores and shit.
I appreciate that. So
not 4 weeks. It's more like 3, but December 15th.
Okay.
So between now and then, I think it's 3, maybe 4 weeks. Your current goals, what it sounds like, is you want to have some price structure in place.
Price structure. I think that's a perfect way of putting it. Yeah.
Okay, so that's one thing, right? And I have it in your document here, so you can reference it. Number 2 is you want to start taking on commissions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it makes sense to me to have the price structure in place first.
Right.
Then take on commissions. Number 3, that sounds like you're interested in getting a website going.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of what we're talking about?
Perfect. And I think the way you pitched it also is a perfect order also.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. The website can come last. I mean, I think the commissions you're going to be aiming for are going to be pretty cheap ones, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if you're swinging for the fences right away. I think you're going to be doing some pretty cheap ones and kind of seeing how people respond. I think if you see, I mean like fucking cheap, like $10-15.
The 10 is what I was shooting for. Well, 10, I was thinking 10
shipping.
Oh.
And the reason it wouldn't be for hours and hours worth of work. I would recommend, busting out these pencil things and saying I'll do $10, $15 sketch commission and seeing how people react.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like you want to go after the bigger, full-fledged piece, it's colored and inked and whatever, there's nothing wrong with that. But it feels like the next step for you would be to keep pushing the pencils and,
Mm-hmm.
and building on that.
So what about because like you had mentioned too, like $10, like if it's $10 for Spider-Man, I'll draw Spider-Man, Batman, whatever.
Yeah.
But like if it's a print, like I did this other drawing for a friend of mine too. $20 for like an original print, if that would make sense, like an idea or like
Original drawing or print?
original
Print
drawing. Oh, good point. But like an original drawing, or it's still
like a
$10 just across the board. Yeah,
fully
full.
color.
Mm-hmm.
If I was, so I compare this to the way I started out in doing. I was doing custom shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got a little text there on my watch.
Okay.
When I started off doing custom shoes, I didn't know what to price my stuff at, so I basically did a couple pairs for free,
Mm-hmm.
and people paid me for the shoes and shipping.
Mm-hmm.
And I told people I want to get experience. I don't know how to do this exactly, and they took a chance on me, and they were happy with what they got. And I did like 2, maybe 3 pairs completely free, besides them paying for those things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started charging like $10, and then 15, and then 20, and then it kept raising and raising and raising. So I think that's the process I went through.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good process, and it makes you work. You eat shit for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but you get to see naturally where people stop paying you at. It's like you'll see where you're charging too much,
Right.
but you'll see also where you're getting. I think what you should be aiming for. Well, we're not there yet. Let's leave that as it is. But I guess what you should be aiming for is you're getting enough commissions to have like back to back, but not where you're like having a huge wait list. I think you should have a wait list of a few people. Ideally, this is ideally not right now for you. But like I can have a wait list of a few people,
Mm-hmm.
and that tells me that my price point is just about right. Just like I've heard a tattoo artist tell me that if you could walk into a tattoo artist and get something done, you're going to the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
You want people that have huge wait lists.
Interesting.
That they're in demand, and people are willing to wait because they're that good, So as an artist, I think having a few people on a wait list that tells you that you're right around where you should be, in my opinion.
Okay.
What do you think?
No, that sounds really good too. Because like you said, it's like the eating shit aspect isn't bad, but you don't want to be all the time just having people walk in and doing it for free. It's that balance of learning how to do it first, but then also being in that happy medium where you're charging, but you're not overcharging. Yeah.
So what do you think? Are you willing to? I mean, and especially if you're trying to get back into Instagram, doing a couple freebies,
right?
And just saying I'll do a pencil sketch of whoever you want, just pay for the shipping.
Oh, just shipping. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. You don't want to eat. I'm not asking you to eat like the cost of anything. It is your time, but you're connecting with people. You're having something to show. You know what I mean? So if I was you, if you're getting back into the game, do a couple for free,
mm-hmm.
and then ship them out. But these could be things that you might build into a print at some point if you like the way it looks. These are things you're going to post on Instagram. For just to have content on Instagram. When I did free shoes, I recorded the whole actually at that time I was doing photos, so I had a shitty slideshow, but I made it into a video for YouTube content. So you're building content, even though it's free monetarily, you're building content and you could record the process and do a time lapse of it. I don't know if you're that savvy, but
not yet, but I'm getting there.
Okay, even though it's free, like you're building something from it. So you're kind of eating shit, but you can find ways to make it work for you as well.
I like that a lot. And then the concept you pitched also to have it being pencil instead of like it blowing up into this whole 3-week project,
No. When I was doing the shoes, I was doing pencil and I colored it in marker. But it was pretty simple, especially compared to where I went later on. But it was pretty simple. It was, it's a free pair of shoes, so
okay,
free artwork, I guess.
Right.
And it was really to friends. I mean, friends were the first people that hit me up saying, "Yeah, I'll do it. You know, I'll
Exactly.
take advantage of that."
That's what I'm figuring it's gonna be too. Like people like, yeah, I'll hit you up, and you just take the payment through PayPal and then ship
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay. And I'm really not trying to end this, but I just got my battery's low warning, so if it cuts out at
Mhm.
any point, I do
All
apologize.
right. I want one more thing, a
Please.
couple more things, right? So pricing,
Hmm.
that's what I would recommend, and then build up.
Okay.
And then for your website, what I would love to see you do, and this is my recommendation, but it's up to you, okay? I would like to see you have a blog on your website that chronicles your process. And if you think you suck that day, write about it.
Okay.
So that and talk about right. This is your platform to. You said you do journaling anyways. Turn
Hmm.
your journal instead of your own little diary or whatever, your diary shit.
What the fuck does everybody say
Turn
that
it
for?
into a because it
It's
is.
manly. It's
Turn it
journaling.
whatever. Turn it into a blog that people in your shoes can say, "Me too."
Mm.
And now you're building content and an audience. I mean, you might be writing to nobody at first, but on your Instagram, you can say, "I wrote about this process on my blog." Send people over there, or I wrote about how insecure I felt today, or how I drew shapes today.
Damn, that's
You're
clutch.
building content and an audience, and they will be able to see you grow. I had someone message me saying he'd been following me since I was doing shoes years and years ago,
Hmm.
and he's like he's seen me. He called it my process. He has seen my from where I was to where I'm at now. He's followed me in my process. So your process right now is you are where you are. So write about it, and all of a sudden you got content, and you can build an audience that way. So I think having a blog would be, for you, I would recommend that being a part of what you're presenting to people. And blogs, if you go through Weebly or Wix, they have free blogs as part of it of their package.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know about Squarespace or whatever you use.
Hmm. Okay, that's perfect.
So that's what I would recommend. So your goals are pricing, begin taking on commissions, and
Website.
website. Are you going to do the commission structure we talked about, starting
Yeah.
off free or low,
Yeah, I'm thinking I
and
might
building
post
up?
something like the first 5 people,
Yeah,
or just
there you
yeah,
go. Make it fun, dude. Yeah.
right, first five, and then do them, mail them out. Yeah, yeah, okay, I like that a
You
lot.
might even want to I mean, you haven't
Not
posted in a while, so you
no
might want to post just a few things,
warm up to
get
it.
people, to remember you and whatnot.
Hey guys, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is good. And then, did you
Okay.
want to just revise the Google Doc with the changes you wanted to make next month?
I already
Whenever.
did.
Oh, even better then. Okay,
While we were talking, I put your new current goals.
okay.
Was there anything else I want to talk about? That was it. Do you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure. Um, okay, so I think he'd be good
Listen
I
to.
think he'd be good for you to listen to right
He's
now.
good. He's very intense. He's very.
He is, yeah, but his social media savvy is
Yeah,
really good.
he's really good with
His
that.
eat shit attitude,
Hmm.
like I think that's kind of where you're at, and I would recommend you listen to him a lot.
Okay. Yeah, he's good, but he's very like he's very like when I was your age, I was up for 20 hours. And
Yeah, I know, right?
if you're
I
not doing
can't, I
it
cannot, I can't meet that guy's standards, but
right,
he's
the
definitely
standards are
inspiring.
very high. But it is very inspiring to hear. That's what I'm saying, like that work ethic where my
Yeah,
friend's like, oh, 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, that's nothing compared to the guys like this. So that's where I'd like to be. But
yeah,
no, as always, man, I really do appreciate the talks. This is good.
yeah.
The dates are on there updated. La, 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 la,
Yep.
la, la.
December 15th. I'm sure we'll talk before then, but
I'm
yeah,
excited.
we'll remind each other.
All right, my man. Sounds like a good talk. And then let me know what you think about
Well,
the audio clips. Did you quick question just while I have you? You don't you're fine with that little because it's connected to the video. That's cool, right? Like it has visual.
yeah, I can
Okay.
separate the audio from the video. It's fine.
Well, I can too, so I can just send over the audio if that's any easier.
It's not a huge difference for me. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay, okay. I just
So
whatever's
I don't. Where are you saving those, by the way? The videos? Are you just emailing to me, or are they in Google or something like that?
they're in my iMovie. I edit them there, and then I save them as a
Okay,
file just on my desktop. So they're just
and
they're
then
just
just
files.
and then you just email it to me.
And yeah, when I email them to you, but it gives me a prompt saying, the files are too big, so share through Google, whatever.
Oh, okay, that's
That
fine. All
makes
right.
so as long as you're getting
Uh,
them with no issue.
yeah, no, I've gotten the
Okay.
few that you sent me. if you want to do, you have the if you find a theme that appears in the different interviews that I have,
Mm-hmm.
just label them like
Mm-hmm.
motivation or something like that. That way,
Okay.
I can take those and easily group them together. If you
Ooh.
did you want to like group those together and make a longer video out of it? Out of it?
No, well, we could definitely. I think maybe just getting the clips from all of them first, because they might be recurring themes throughout each one. Because I guess I'm
Yeah,
doing Newligans right now, and nothing's jumped out immediately. But I just, as an artist, like I always love hearing how other artists start out,
yeah,
and I think
totally.
a lot. But like you had mentioned too, if each artist had their own, grouped it all together, that'd be good.
But
Um,
so, but what I'm asking though is if you for the origin stories or
mhm.
whatever, or if someone has something to say about work ethic or motivation, did you want to find those, cut them out, and then group them together in a bigger video, or did like I wasn't clear if you wanted to be the one to actually edit that. I don't mind you sending those to me, and I can put those together. I have no problem with that at all.
Oh, I could
I
do
just
that.
so what do you want? So what do you want to do?
I like them individually, but I can group them if you wanted to group themes as I find them.
I'm not going to ask you to do that because I want to make sure you have enough time to work on your stuff. So I would never ask you to do that extra step.
Thank you.
If you want the experience to do it, go right
Mhm.
ahead. But
Um,
otherwise, just send me those clips with their label of like motivation one, motivation two, or
mhm.
whatever, and then I can group those together. I have no problem doing that. That's what I expect. But if
Okay.
you want the experience of editing, go right ahead.
Yeah, I feel like the more editing I do, because I would like to edit my own videos eventually too, and doing this is
Right.
super helpful. So I mean, if I feel like if I already separated it and organized it that way, it's very easy for me to just bunch them together.
Go right ahead if you want to, but if it's taking away too much time from what you're doing, I don't want you to do it. Okay. I'd rather have you writing a blog entry than doing that.
Okay. Okay. Oh, and I appreciate that too. I'll send them over if I get time. I'll group them together as I find them. But then, yeah, I'll email them over too with the grouping
Okay.
as I find them. So yeah,
Why
if
don't you?
I what's up?
So why don't you send me clips that are good by themselves?
Hmm.
If you find clips that are good as a theme,
Hmm.
tell me like Justin, I'm gonna group these on my own. Don't touch them.
Okay. Um.
Like that's fine too.
Okay. And so for the Carlos one too, after they're clipped, you just want that as a huge file. Like you basically want to condense the interview and or do you want it like those two
You kind
minute
of broke up
clips?
there. Say it again.
Those 2 minute, 3 minute clips I sent you. Do you want
Oh
to
yeah,
like?
just send them individually.
Okay, okay, okay. All right.
That's totally fine.
Sounds good. All right, my man.
All right, dude.
All right,
Hey,
good
good luck,
talk.
man.
Hey, thank you, man. I'm excited for December 15th.
Yes, sir. No, we'll be decided. Be excited for everything between then as well. All right.
Absolutely, my man. All right, I'll talk to you
All
later.
right, dude.